White flag is raised, and they're off. Rubi Light sizing Europe on the near side, being closely followed by Eduardo Sol towards the inside. Big Zeb and for Paddy the Plaster as the quintet come to jump the first fence, and sizing Europe just lands in the lead on the near side of Rubi Light, followed by Eduardo Sol towards the inside. And 2 lengths for Paddy the Plaster and Big Zeb. Coming on up now to race in front of the stands in the Paddy Power Dial-a-Bet Chase, and on the far side Rubi Light, the stand side sizing Europe. These two matching strides, 3 lengths clear of Eduardo Sol, who's showing just third ahead of for Paddy the Plaster and Big Zeb. Last year's winner of the race is just the back marker of the 5 as they race on now to the second fence, taking them away from the stands. Rubi Light and champion jockey Davy Russell on the inside of sizing Europe, and Andrew Lynch, the long odds-on favourite. Eduardo Sol, solitary English challenger, and Tony McCoy racing in third. Couple of lengths then for Paddy the Plaster, who's showing up just ahead of Big Zeb as they go now to number 3. Sizing Europe on the outside with Rubi Light. Eduardo Sol followed by for Paddy the Plaster and Big Zeb. So they're racing into the turn to swing into the back straight with a run now before they reach number 4. Sizing Europe and Rubi Light, 3 to 4 lengths in front of Eduardo Sol, 2.5 to Big Zeb on the inside of for Paddy the Plaster. They now make the approach to the first of the fences right down the far side. Number 4 this time, Rubi Light and Sizing Europe going head to head. Sizing Europe just on the outside, fractionally in front as they clear that one. A good jump by Rubi Light, lands in the lead just fractionally, and on the level Sizing Europe again moves through to pick it up. So it's Sizing Europe who leads them now on towards the 5th, which will bring them now to the halfway point. Rubi Light racing second, and then a clear break to Eduardo Sol for Paddy the Plaster and Big Zeb. At this one, Rubi Light again a brilliant jump, has out-jumped Sizing Europe at the last couple of fences, and Rubi Light lands just in front. On the level then, Sizing Europe back on terms, and then 5 lengths to Eduardo Sol, Big Zeb and for Paddy the Plaster. At the ditch right across from the stands, and it's on the inside Rubi Light rejoined by Sizing Europe. A break of 7 lengths then to Eduardo Sol, Big Zeb and for Paddy the Plaster as they go now to the next on the far side. And over it again Rubi Light, back up on terms with Sizing Europe. They're clear of Eduardo Sol and Big Zeb for Paddy the Plaster. They've got 4 fences left to jump now in the Paddy Power Dial-a-Bet Chase, and as they go to it, Sizing Europe and Rubi Light on the inside. A break to Eduardo Sol, Big Zeb and for Paddy the Plaster. The race now to the last on the far side, which is the final ditch, 3 from the finish. Sizing Europe from Rubi Light, clear of Eduardo Sol, Big Zeb and for Paddy the Plaster. 3 from home now. Sizing Europe and Rubi Light. Rubi Light again made ground on the inside to regain a narrow advantage, but on the level Sizing Europe moving back up on the outside, and obviously travelling the better of the two as Davy Russell is at work on Rubi Light. His jumping has kept him right in contention with Sizing Europe as they clear the second last. A clear break to Eduardo Sol as they begin now to make the run for the home turn. Sizing Europe in the lead by 2 lengths now to Rubi Light, who in turn is 7 to 8 lengths in front of Eduardo Sol, Big Zeb and for Paddy the Plaster. Homeward bound, 1 fence left to jump, and Sizing Europe is the leader. From Rubi Light, Eduardo Sol, Big Zeb and for Paddy the Plaster as they come down now towards the final fence. It is Sizing Europe and Andrew Lynch in the lead at the final fence in the Paddy Power Dial-a-Bet, over 4 lengths clear of Rubi Light, who in turn is clear of Eduardo Sol, and Sizing Europe beginning to run up and down on the spot, and Rubi Light is trying hard now to close on the near side. They're racing up towards the finish. Sizing Europe all out. Rubi Light is closing, but the winning post will come in time for Sizing Europe to score again, back over 2 miles and a furlong, and Sizing Europe beats off a game effort from Rubi Light. In third place, Eduardo Sol, Big Zeb and for Paddy the Plaster.